doing, folks, and welcome to episode 6 of 5 Pops Funko Should Make. I'm your host, Big Maccabee Pop Ginger, and for this week's episode we are focusing on the characters of Sacha Baron Cohen. So, everybody knows him as Ali G, Borat, Bruno, and the Dictator. They're the main 4 I can think of right now that were creative characters of his own, minus any roles he's played elsewhere, such as like the Grimsby Brothers and that one where he did Sweeney Todd. So right now, like I said, we're going to focus on the ones that are his sole creations, the ones that kind of got him into hot water. Now, normally when I do these weeks, I try to come up with some really creative ideas. Now, admittedly, on this episode, it's mainly just going to be listing characters that he's played and what costume choices, if there's any variation, I would use for Funko Pops. So, without further ado, let's go see what's at number 1. So, for number 1, I would go with probably one of his best known characters, Ali G. And I think there's possibilities here for chase and common versions. So, obviously, for a common version, for anyone that knows the character, the easiest, simplest one to do would be the yellow tracksuit. For, is it West Side Massive? I'm not even... Is that it? I don't bloody know. It's been some time since I've seen the film. But basically, I'd say the yellow tracksuit, that's probably his most iconic image. But focusing on the movie Ali G in the House, I think for a chase edition, you could probably do, I believe it was at the end of the film, where he's like a ganja king, you know, with crown and shit. I feel like that could be, if you wanted to be creative and make a chase, a possible idea. But I don't know what really variation you'd have with that, because there's not a lot of Ali G variation, costume-wise. You could maybe do when they were all wearing all them multiple coloured camouflages and things when they were trying to sneak in and out of that house and do the whole pock and lock bloody car battery thing. But I'd say probably for the chase, we'll stick with something simple like the crown and whatnot that he was wearing. And as usual, I assume I will have put an image in to better explain what I'm on about. Anyway, that is the idea for number 1. So let's slip on over to number 2. And so for number 2, I'm thinking we've got to go with our Austrian, I believe it was Austrian brother, Bruno. That's not how you pronounce his name, that's just how I fancy doing it. But I think going with Bruno would be a cracking idea. Is it lederhosens? Is that what you call what he was wearing? It was a interesting costume. And if I remember correctly, it's been some time, admittedly, since I've seen the film, but if I remember correctly, he had a variation of, you know, clothing designer outfits he was wearing throughout the movie. So if you wanted to chase, I'm going to leave it down to you to decide what kind of chase you would put on him. Let me know down below. But since we're on a rhyming game, down below, anyhow, on to number 3. So for number 3, we have to go with a classic, 2006, I believe it was, Borat. Now this one's probably going to be the easiest in terms of recognition for common and chase. It's very simple. For the common, all we have to do is put him in his suit. Absolutely simple pimple, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And for the chase, I don't think anyone that's watched this will struggle to figure out what I might come up with for a chase. But quite simply, it is going to be the iconic green mankini. And let's be honest, is there anything else from Borat that you could actually use for a chase that would be more iconic or more recognisable than the mankini? If so, put it down below. Simple pimples. Anyhow, on to number 4. So for number 4, we have to move on to a character that we haven't yet used, which of course is the Dictator. Now, obviously, we know from that movie, when he's got the big beard, the hat, all the royal-looking garments, I don't know what you want to call it, suit, whatever. That would obviously have to be the main, most recognisable comment for this one. But it's been that long since I've seen the film, I have no idea what he looks like elsewhere in the movie. So in terms of a chase, I'm running low. I'm running low on this one. I was hoping to come up with something creative for it, but I didn't really enjoy the movie, so I'll be honest that it's not retained itself that well in my brain. I just wanted something to add to this particular Funko video, whatever you want to call it. As you can tell, I'm not very well prepared for this one. It's been that long since I've seen a lot of his films, and I wasn't that impressed with the most recent movie that we're going to use for number 5. Well, actually, I say I wasn't that impressed. I only made it halfway into the film, but I'll cover that on my second channel, Movie Madness. Link down below. Anyhow, let's finish this off and hit up number 5. And so, for the 5th idea, we're going to go with a movie moment. Because let's face it, I can't do one of these videos without some sort of a ride or movie moment idea. Just to mix up the content. And so, for this one, I'm thinking it could be fun if it was made really, really soon. What with the political election in America having not real long happened. Hashtag Biden, thank God. But I'm thinking we use the press conference. So we want 3 characters for this one. We want the Mike Pence up at his little podium thing. And then we have the Borat dressed as Donald Trump carrying the girl on his shoulder. I think from this movie, from what I saw anyway, which was about the first half, which was, for me personally, incredibly terrible. Wasn't many laughs in it, but hey-ho, these things happen. But I think out of what I did see, that'd be a good idea. Now, for the other half of the film, I will eventually get around to forcing myself to watch. I've heard it is better in the second half, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, this is true. But if there's anything I haven't covered from the film that's better in the second half that you think would make for a fantastic pop, drop it down below. Hey diddly ho. But that is everything I have for you in this particular video. Admittedly, not the funnest of my now 6 of these ones. Don't be afraid to check out the other 5. Admittedly, they're more energetic and better planned in some senses or other. But that is everything I have for you on this particular occasion. So, as always, folks, stay safe, have a good day, and of course, live that pop fanatic life. I'll see you in a bit.